Hello, and this is Malorian with another fun battle report, and what this is my second game that I've played internationally against Once Bitten of Warseer. So this is one where I'm in Canada and he's in the States, so obviously no way we're getting together for a game, so we're just doing this kind of over the internet. I had the game set up at my place. I set it up and I send him pictures. He tells me what he wants to do, and we just kind of run through the whole game. So last time we did Bretonnians versus Bretonnians, and this time he's going to be taking on my Orcs. So let's take a look at the board here. So here in the picture, my Orcs are on the top, his Bretonnians are on the bottom, and the terrain that we have here is I have a hill in my top middle there. There's those woods on either flank. He has a hill in the bottom left, and then that white thing you see in the bottom right is a tower. This was set up by my wife to try and keep things even, and then I just rolled off randomly who would be on what side. The way that we also did, because it'd be taking a long time to go back and forth, is that I just deployed my entire army, sent him the picture, then he sent me his formation, what he wanted to do. That part is a small advantage to him, because obviously he can deploy in a way that is best suited to counter me, but at the same time I have a major advantage having all the models in front of me and being able to have a better view of the board and placement. So anyway, talking about what we have in each armies, on my side from left to right I have some wolves and some orcs behind the woods there. Then I have my shaman chariot, a bolt thrower, spear chugga, more boys. Then in front of the hill I have a chariot, my knight goblins, and in that unit I have my war boss, my BSB, then another chariot with a troll in front of it, some more orcs, and that one has a shaman in it, my fast cav, and savage orcs, another spear chukka, and then some boys on the far right. And then on the hill behind everything I have another two chukkas and a doom diver. On his side, on the far left, he has those Grail Knights. Then on the hill, he has a small unit of 5 Knights Errant. He has his Trebuchet, which is being proxied by a cannon. He has 5 mounted yeomen, and behind them a big, huge unit of 12 Knights Errant. Then he has his Knights of the Realm with his BSB. He has his Pegasus Knights, 4 of them, and there's also a Lord on Pegasus. And behind them there's more Knights Errant. To the right of them is some men-at-arms being shown by some Romans, and to the right of them a damsel, and then some skirmishing archers on the far right. So looking at this, basically I could easily see that he really heavily put everything on the left flank, so that some of my units, especially that one on the far right, were kind of out of the way. But they're not totally useless. I mean, that one on the far right, their obvious plan is just to try and swing around the flank and get those archers and start putting the pressure on. The real thing what I want to do is just slow down those Grail Knights from going on the left side, use my chariots and things to try and keep him back, and then at the last second try and just redirect and block him with my troll and fast cav to set up counter charges. And really the main thing is Bretonnians, especially that big huge block of 12 Knights Errant, which really kind of scares me, is just anything can be a throwaway unit. If I can make it so that I get the charge on him, that's the most important thing. And just to kind of make things more clear, here's a picture of my left flank, and here's a picture of my center, and you can see those 2 characters inside of the Knight Goblin unit. And finally, here's a picture of my right flank, and you can just barely see that in that unit that's on the far left, the rightmost model is a Knight Goblin Shaman. And then this is a picture of his center, and just some of the things I want to point out here is that because I don't have a separate Lord, model on Pegasus, regular Pegasus models are going to be the ones without riders. The one with the rider is his actual Lord, and also he used way more Knights Errant than I owned. I have a lot of Knights of the Realm, so a lot of times if you see riders that are horses that don't have riders, that means that they're Knights Errant. So, but for the most part, everything's Knights Errant except for that one unit that has the BSB in it. So of course he prays. For me, on my first turn, Animosity doesn't really do anything. So just like I said, that unit on the far right is starting to zip around as fast as it can. The troll scoots up a bit, night goblins get off the hill to not block line of sight, and I'm really kind of holding back. The troll is making sure that my Savage Orc War Boss won't be baited, and the wolves are there to make sure that Savage Orcs won't be baited, and otherwise I'm just kind of holding my ground, hoping that I can just beat him down with war machines for a bit. The problem is that my war machines aren't really doing anything. None of the Chukkas do anything on this first turn, and a Doom Diver hits the Knights Errant and just kills one model. So nothing too spectacular, but it's just the first turn. I should also say that we both have magic, but none of it did anything the entire game, so I won't mention it again. Alright, so Bretonnian's turn 1. His Ground Knights, not wanting to be slowed down, rush up to right up to my wolves. His units move a bit up, they're kind of cautious of the charges from my chariots. And then his mounted yeomen are up there to kind of block my shaman chariot. And I'll talk more about that when I get to my second turn. Otherwise, he has his Pegasus Knights that flew over by the woods, and he just is really the hold back. You can see that his one small unit on the hill there went an angle to the left, and I think pretty sure that's to make sure that my wolves don't sneak through that gap to try and rush his trebuchet. In his shooting phase, he goes to try and take out my right chariot there, but it scatters over and just kills some night goblins. And then the archers that have flaming arrows shoot at my troll and do 2 wounds to it. They almost killed it right off the bat, so now I'm going to have to make sure that I make some use of that troll before it gets killed. Alright, so now Orcs turn 2. So this is what I'm kind of looking at, what I was talking about with that shaman chariot. So I have this fast cab that's in the way of my wolf chariot here, and if I charge it, I'll probably cast those guys, but then I'd be hitting into the Knights Errant, and I think that's what he's wanting, that I would hit into him. He would easily beat me because it's a fully ranked knight unit, and then he would be further up and be able to charge whatever he wanted. So I kind of gave this thought of whether I should just stay there to block the mounted yeomen, but in the end I decided just to go and charge them, kill them off, and then stop just before the Knights Errant at the top there. Alright, so otherwise for Orc turn 2, you see my unit on the far right has yellow dice in front of it. That's because it failed Animosity, which is going to slow their advance around the flank there. My troll ran up to try and go and block his one group of Knights Errant, and my wolves on the far left is going to angle to make it so that the Grail Knights would be going kind of off the board or off to the side if they go through. What I also did is, now when I was looking at this big unit of Knights Errant, obviously they're going to be charging my chariot, and what I'm going to do is take this, and those Knights Errant are going to end up just right in front of that first block on the left. So here, I'm basically using my chariot, my shaman chariot, as a throwaway unit, but that's what I just have to do to take out that big unit. Otherwise, the line is just kind of sitting there waiting to take the charge with the chariots and everything else ready to counter. And my wolves on the right, they're there to make sure that the Pegasus Knights don't kind of sweep over and try and hit the flank of something, and at the same time, if he doesn't deal with me, I can rush up and take out that damsel. My shooting does a little bit better. This time the Doom Diver goes and kills 2 of those central Knight Errant there, but again the Chukkas don't do a single thing. And we're out of time, so I'll get to the rest of the game in the next video.